No, the watermelon thing is.
I didn't realize that there was like a science or a technique. I usually just make the guy in the produce aisle thump it for me. He goes, yeah, that's good.
Well,
and I take it.
I hate this point because this is the point where it feels like a mansplaining. Like, you don't know crap about watermelons.
Because you're a woman. No, I felt like you were
Right?
maybe wanting to, you were just concerned that we had often perhaps been denied the adequate knowledge of
It's
watermelon.
4th of July coming up. You want to pick the right one. And I learned a
Okay,
ton more stuff.
All right, well, we'll talk about that in a minute then. Of course, welcome. It's the
Hi.
Todd and Erin Daily Stream.
How are
And
ya?
of course, our patio is brought to you by Brio Technologies, your experts in
Wow.
lighting, sound, and video. Imagine
arborists.
crystal clear colors and sounds.
Right?
You can have a media well like you cannot believe. Just go to brioaudiovisual.com.
All right. So, first of all, if you're watching this on demand, you've already had a great 4th of July. If not, it's coming here in Utah. All right. So, what do you have to talk about? You have a
Well,
local
first of
deal.
all, we have the complete fireworks guide along the Wasatch Front. We're going to have that up tomorrow on Facebook and also on the Todd and Erin Favorite5.com. So you can go to either one just so you can find the one you like that's closest to you. Because sadly, Sugar House Park will not be one of them this year.
What the hell?
Let's have a moment of silence. Okay, that's enough. There's others.
It was the city council that did this because
They-
they said, "Oh, we have time."
They said they didn't get enough help.
They were giving the money.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
This is really
All
neat, but
right.
it
All
totally
right.
cracks
All right.
me
I'm
up.
okay. What do you
Apparently, this is a speed record. Salt Lake County Jail.
got? Okay.
Okay, Charles Folk was released, Salt Lake County Jail. He had been convicted of criminal mischief related to damage
Okay.
done to his roommate's belongings.
Okay. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
the jail doors open. You walk out.
He's released.
And there is the street. And can you imagine?
I'm free.
You walk out and you go, I can do what I want to do.
Well, what he wanted to do is call Uber because text Uber because he wanted to ride home, and his parents live down in Spanish Fork.
Right.
Which is a fur drive, as
A fur?
we Utahns like to say.
A fur drive?
It's a fur piece.
It's-
First time I
it's
heard that, I went, it's
Stone's throw.
I said, it's a fur piece. There's a fur piece here. And they went,
Never-
no, it just means it's a long way. I went,
Never
oh,
heard that expression.
piece?
Fur piece. Anyway.
God, where are you? Oh, that's right, New England. You think you're so special. So anyway, got the Uber driver, throws himself in the back of the car, and he goes Spanish Fork. Actually, he just even passed Spanish Fork. So
Right, okay.
over the next hour and a half, they drive, and they
Are
finally
they
get down
talking?
there.
I imagine they'd be talking.
You know, I don't know what kind of
I'm out of
questions you
jail.
ask a guy who
It's
comes
like,
out
oh,
of jail.
Other topics except for being shivved.
Really, you know, like you want to just know where do we go with this conversation. But, so the important thing is this. So they finally pull up in front of his parents' house. It's been quite a drive, so it's around $100.
He's out of jail. I can't
And-
even imagine the freedom he would feel.
And then the guy goes, well, okay, here you go. And he goes, oh, one thing, you can't use the credit card that's attached to this Uber account. And he goes, why would that be? And he goes, because it's my sister's credit card. And she'd be really mad at me.
He's kind of ruining the moment here.
As a matter of
for
fact,
me.
he goes, it might even have been that I stole my sister's credit card number. So it would be a problem and they wouldn't pay you anyway. So
Bad to worse.
you know, and so the guy goes, do you have money? And he goes, well, no, I don't. And at this point, the Uber driver, who has just spent the hour and a half driving him and
Driving.
$100 down.
And you know what? In his clean car that he put Febreze
I
in.
know, they work
And he
so
made
hard
it
to
so
keep the
nice.
cars
And he
clean.
polished
I
all
love
the
that.
hand dirt off the handles.
It really is very, very nice.
It's a very
So
tough job.
at this point, because you know Charles folks, conflict resolution skills are probably limited. His best option at that point, he felt, was to open the door of the car and run away. Now, there's two problems with this. Number one, the Uber driver still wants some money. And number two, when he called the police, it was fairly easy to tell them where Charles lived because he was parked right in front of it because he was going to drop him off.
Oh, Charles.
So Charles finally returned an hour or so later, perhaps thinking the Uber driver had given up to find a police car instead. And
Yeah.
at this point,
He got a free ride.
there's that. Well, and then they said, why didn't you just wake up your parents and have them pay for it? And he said, and I quote, I wanted to surprise them. Well, it was technically a surprise.
It
So
was a huge surprise.
he was free from jail for a full hour and a half before police picked him up and drove him back.
Let me think.
That's
about
got to
this.
be a record. And
you
here's
have
the funny
you
thing.
have an hour and a half out of jail. What would you do?
It does get a little bit better.
What?
All right, you know, he ran away to escape a $100 Uber fare charge, right?
Right.
He's being held on $2,000 bail for petty theft.
Dude.
That's bad math.
Dude.
Sorry, Charles.
All right, so
I don't think you're going to be out to celebrate the 4th, honey.
Let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. You're in jail.
Yes.
As you should be. You're in jail, and they let you out. And let's say that you know that you have an hour and a half until you're going back to jail. For whatever reason. It's not like you're going to go do something wrong. What would you do when you got out of jail and you had an hour and a half and the clock is ticking? What would you do?
I would go find my favorite restaurant and order like a massive meal.
Okay.
And I would use any money I had for a tip, and then for the rest of it, I'm going back to jail, so.
Right.
So yeah, like a really great meal, maybe call you, go, hey, come on down, let's have some lobster.
Right. Like 8 of them. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then you go back and you're covered in butter, and they're like, what have you been doing? You go, never mind.
It's none of
But
your
you know,
business.
if you're covered in butter, then you could slip through the jail bars.
Justification.
Make your escape again.
Justification for lobster again. Great. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me tell you about another story.
All right, hit me.
Texas. This has...
All the really weird stuff comes out of Texas, and it makes me feel better about us as a people, because every time there's like a weird Utah story, I can find like 2 weird Texas stories to
And
talk
Florida, for God's sake.
about. Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so here's the deal. Texas. And this one's got a twist at the end you do not see coming. Watch this. So these 2 guys are like going, always had this thing about each other. First of all, leave town. It's a small town in Texas. Every time they meet up at a bar, first of all, hello.
Don't you have friends that go, hey, Charlie, Steve is over there, let's leave? If I were that friend, I would go, it's time for us to go. I'm not going to patch you up again.
They get into a fight. And so it's been going on for years, and both of them have RVs, Not the RVs you go camping and go see the Yosemite or go see the Black Mountains and see the presidents up on the wall or anything. These guys just live on the street in their RVs, which are parked fairly close together.
On the bright side, you can't say they're homeless because they have an RV.
They are, and that is cool because they have made this thing. But every time they see each other, they're doing this, and you're like, oh, that's not good. So the 2 got in an altercation, and then one of them just disappears. And so what happens is...
Where did his RV go to? Is his RV still there?
Everyone's RV is in the same place.
Okay.
And so what happens is the drunk guy, let's say him Guy A and Guy B, Guy A goes into his RV and sits down and starts, doing what RV
living
guys
stuff
do. And all of a sudden notices sitting next to him is a rattlesnake. There's another one over there.
Oh, my God.
And another one over there. Evidently, Guy B went out and caught a bunch of rattlesnakes and put them in his RV. You don't see the twist coming, do you?
So far, this is pretty good. I'm impressed.
You don't see it, do you? What Guy B did is he cut off the rattles.
So these would be stealth snakes. Not only would they be stealth snakes, they would be really pissed off snakes.
Ninja ouching rattlesnakes. Well,
wow.
Guy A basically said, this is wrong, and he called the cops, and they came out, and Guy A had basically chopped them all up with a machete. Because when you have an RV...
Like these poor snakes!
You have an RV, what's the first thing you need in your RV is...
Gas?
A machete. That's what you need.
Oh.
So the guy goes to cut off the rattles. Oh, that's just...
I'm feeling very sorry for these rattlesnakes so far because they're the only ones who are the innocent party in this entire story. And they're the ones that get chopped off once and then chopped off twice. And Guy A never even got bitten by any of the pissed off rattlesnakes.
What a depressing
thing for... probably because they're like wondering whether freaking...
Guy B.
Zachy and I were hiking and we just barely actually ran across a rattlesnake and it was hidden underneath the bushes.
Right.
So I could not hear it, but I called Todd screaming like an idiot because They're freaking loud. If a rattlesnake is really ticked off at you, it is a decisively clear sound.
Right.
You know exactly what's happening. In this particular case, it was
So-
between me and my son, and that was really scary, but I didn't have one sitting next to me on the couch, so I kind of feel better.
So guy B,
Goes to prison.
yeah, goes to jail.
Did he keep the rattles? Maybe they'd be cool souvenirs for like his bunkmates so they wouldn't kill him.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where you go to jail and you go, I don't have any cigarettes, but I have
I
rattles.
just think that's horrible.
Mainly for the rattlesnakes or guy A?
Both.
I think mostly the rattlesnakes.
But the forward-thinking, the plotting was amazing.
You have to admit, that's a level of spite that's
That's like a
almost
snake
admirable.
with a silencer on it. All right, what are you going to talk about?
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, tell me something good.
Tell me something good. It's brought to you
Would
by,
you?
Brought to you by PC Laptops. They have amazing desktops and laptops starting at only $7.99 with a lifetime service guarantee. PCLaptops.com. This is so cool. This is the kind of thing you love because
I love this. Why?
This is like the MacGyvering.
I don't know what you're
where
talking
there's an
about.
emergency and like someone like you, because it's always you, comes up with a great thing that saves somebody's life.
I'm ready to
Here we go.
spring into action.
Harold McClure might have been in dire straits if it hadn't been for his neighbor. Now, he lives in a small Iowa town,
Right.
and he's hooked up to an oxygen tank 24 hours a day. Now, there was a massive storm that ran through that area, and
Right.
it knocked out everything.
Yeah.
Power was gone. It was just G-O-N.
And when
it
I
was
think
gone.
power, I think danger.
Oxygen tanks.
Well, oxygen
takes-
tanks work, but they have also what they call condensers. It's not the right word, but they gather the oxygen in the room and they concentrate, and then they give you the oxygen, and you can survive on
And
that.
his tanks only had enough power to last for a few hours. Now, fortunately, his neighbor, Joe Gazelle, is a thinker, much like you. He's a
Right.
thinker.
He's a thinker.
He's a thinker. Because Joe was one of those guys who was always creating stuff in his garage. Sound familiar? Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, he created a contraption that generated electricity when attached to a lawnmower. And after being untouched
Stop.
for...
Just stop. So, what's his name?
It's Joe Gazelle.
Joe. Joe decided to create a generating lawnmower for electricity. Go ahead.
I think it's amazing.
Go ahead.
So here was the deal. So he heard of his neighbor's problem, and poor Mrs. McClure, Harold's wife, was very
Right.
upset, going, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm so worried, and everything's down, and nobody's around. Everybody's...
Sure.
And he says, I have something for you.
Here we
It's
go.
about 5 years old, but I'm 90%
Here we
certain it's
go,
going to work
lawnmower
just great.
dude.
So the inventor dug out the device. He
Are you
hooked it all up to the
you
oxygen
kidding
stuff,
me?
and it worked. He says it's been sitting for the last about 4.5, 5 years and hadn't been ran. And to my
So it
surprise,
is-
as I was hoping it would, it performed just like it did when we developed our prototypes years ago.
So it did power the electricity to run the concentrator.
He said it's sitting there running right now and getting the oxygen bottles filled back up for him. And he was able to power McClure's oxygen tanks until the lights were restored in their Indianola neighborhood. Is that cool or what?
I would like to point out
This is
something.
totally a Todd thing that you would do.
I gotta
You would
point out
totally
something.
do that.
So next time anybody accuses me of my garage as a mess, shush. That's all I'm going to say. It's just shush.
Fink and McGregor Mortgage is made simple. We really like Fink and McGregor because in this particular real estate climate, if you're the sucker who's trying to put a bid on a house and you don't have the mortgage like lying in wait and ready to go, you're not getting the house. I'm sorry, this is our current reality. So Jeff Stout's the guy who's like, I was even saying, do you think we should wait? Because maybe things will settle down. And he's like, don't wait. Oh my God, don't, because it just gets crazier. And he was going through all the options and he was explaining this. And number one, I felt profoundly stupid and then profoundly smarter because he explained it to me. But it's really interesting to realize how many different options there were. Because most of us just go to like the one place, the bank or wherever we're told, and we sit there and we give them everything we've ever owned and all our information. And then tens upon thousands of dollars later and weeks and weeks and weeks, you might have a mortgage. It doesn't work that way. With think-mcgregor.com, you have 4 minutes to answer a bunch of questions. They give you a bunch of ideas. Someone calls you back in the next business day, and you can put a bid on a house and actually have somewhere to live. Think-mcgregor.com.
All right, it's time to go to the Todd's Test Kitchen and
This isn't going to be the limeade thing. I mean, the pickle aid thing again, right?
Yeah, no, this is something else. And this is not, I have learned things that are new to me about picking a watermelon. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but have you ever bought a watermelon, you brought it home, and you just went, huh?
And you're disappointed?
And,
deeply disappointed?
Or the one you
Yes.
bring home and you go, this is summer to me. Well, I have learned facts that I did not know to pick out the perfect watermelon, and we're going to put it to the test. This is the one time in Todd's test kitchen that you are not going to be afraid.
I can't accept that. I'm pretty sure I'll still be afraid.
Or will she?
Well, let's give it a shot. Watermelon 101.
Let's go.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com, take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stayfit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape, feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
All right, welcome to Todd's Test Kitchen, where people are disgusted in so many ways. But today, we're going to learn the
No, this is the correct way
correct way.
of picking a watermelon.
Picking a ow.
You know, really,
Watermelon.
admittedly, I really don't have very much luck with this. I usually get the guy in the produce aisle to do it for me.
Really?
But there is a science.
Well, we know that the basic one about the thumping thing.
Yeah, but I'll thump one and then the other, and it still doesn't really tell me anything. Why?
Because I'm ready to open a watermelon. All right, so let's do the noise
You're
thing.
so creepy.
Can we do the? Go ahead, read
Well,
the
this is
instructions.
interesting. First of all, they say that watermelons are the only fruit that does not continue to ripen after being harvested. You know how you leave like cantaloupe or honeydew on the counter?
Who didn't know that?
And it gets a little softer?
I didn't know
If
that.
you know that if this is not quite ripe, it doesn't do any better. This is as good
Right.
as it gets once it's cut off the vine. So, there you go. So, first of all, look at its belly. Watermelons have an
We
underside.
did not know. Shall we show
It
the
is called
belly?
a field spot. That's where it rests during while it's
Where
growing
this
in the field.
impossible sticker to take from, it's made by Nazis. You can't.
The spot on a ripe watermelon will be yellowish, sometimes referred to as buttery,
Buttery.
not white. Now next,
Who refers to watermelons as buttery?
all right, next, thump it using your knuckles, wrap on the middle of the watermelon while holding it up to your ear,
And then I can cut it, right?
or flick it with your finger. No, keep
Okay,
going.
all right. So, microphone close. Here we go. Again. Okay.
An unripe watermelon will have more of a higher pitched sound. An overripe one will have a thud sound. So learning the difference takes a bit of practice. So maybe try that one and see if it's any different.
All right. First of all, number one. Number two. Oh,
That sounds a
that
lot
is
higher.
so much lower.
That's outside.
That is-
Yeah, it does sound higher, doesn't it? Look at the field spot on it. Is that field spot paler? No? Oh, well, there's some white.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Whoever knew field spot was a word?
And that it was buttery. Sniff it. Pick up the watermelon and carry it a little bit away from the other melons so you don't pick up the smell of the other melons. And give it a good sniff. I don't think you have to go downstairs. It's just, okay.
It smells.
It should.
Hang on.
Okay.
There's a. Okay.
It should smell sweet and similar to what a melon tastes like, but not overly sweet because that can indicate an overripe melon.
Okay, now.
Apparently the
now
sniff test also works like-
the picnic is over at this point.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
You should enjoy this part. Squeeze it. Gently squeeze the side of the watermelon to see if there's a bit of give to it. The rind of the watermelon should...
Right? Nice melon.
That's so dumb.
Okay.
I
Switch
don't know.
and do
Does that
that
feel
one.
like there's any give to it?
I think this might be the winner.
The rind of the melon shouldn't be soft, but it shouldn't be hard as a rock with no give to it at all. I don't-
Right? Right?
Does that feel like it has give? I can't tell.
Check the two. That's still the winner.
Maybe this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and...
Now.
No. Now we have to heft it.
What's that mean?
If you've gone through the above test and still can't narrow down your choices between a couple of watermelons, try comparing the weight of similarly sized melons. This one's wider, but this one's longer, but they're about the same
So
size.
going for weight here. Should I get the scale that lies
the
to
one
us every morning?
No. Pick the one that looks heavier, feels heavier.
My doctor's warned me about this, by the way. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which one feels heavier? That one?
Still running in the lead.
So we think that's our perfect one. Now our next thing, of course,
Now?
we have to open both of them and see.
Finally. And then we're going to take a taste test
Pick
with
up
you.
the cleaver, baby.
All right.
Badly.
All right. Oh, did that feel good? Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Oh yeah. Satisfying? I think so.
You might have enjoyed that more than I
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Get me to work at the plant because I'm still amazing. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that one has no seed.
I would like a moment, please. I'm back. All right, so what we're gonna
It smells
do,
so good.
we're gonna do this, and we got this one. This one does have seeds. Okay, so now the taste
Turn them
test.
so you can see.
Now the taste test. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
Close.
start.
No. You have to close your eyes. Turn. Turn around. Turn around. You suck at
Can you
this.
see my eyes closed? You are so strange.
What, are you watching me?
No, my eyes are closed.
Okay.
My friends, are my eyes closed? Could you mention this on Facebook? Erin's eyes are
Okay,
indeed
all right.
closed at this time.
Which one is it? Okay. Wait. Okay, that one. That one is that one. Open your eyes.
Okay.
We now have 2 watermelons. We have the seeded one and the seedless one. Let's remember that this one was heavier, softer, nicer. This one wasn't. I have now mixed them up, and Erin will now taste them. It's a little big. Okay, keep it in your mouth. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Okay, good. You done? Cleanse your palate with your saliva. Just do it. We have so much watermelon.
That is freaking delicious. Okay.
All right, number 2. Your favorite would be number 1. Oh, do the big dramatic pause. Okay, like they do on reality shows. Okay. Your choice would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
The first one is the best. The second one is slightly less ripe.
I present to you the winner of today's competition, which is the one
That you had selected based on
I
all
didn't
of our
select.
criteria.
they selected. That is exactly right. And this one is still good.
It's just not
This
as
one's better.
It's just a little less ripe.
Because who wants to show it at a barbecue and then cut
Sniff
the
it,
watermelon?
squeeze it, heft it,
and then go
look at its belly.
and then go check out the watermelons.
It's a lot
okay.
like puppies. Really.
All right. So yes or no? Have we
I
done
feel
it?
like we have learned something important today.
And I got to use a cleaver. All right. So
This is a day that everybody is happy.
Todd's test kitchen.
You're gonna put the cleaver away now?
Not yet.
That's what I'm afraid of.
We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bourbon for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish.
So
I had no idea. I feel like I am so much better informed.
I have learned about watermelon.
Do you feel
So-
wiser now?
I do. I feel smarter.
Well, watermelon is just one of those things where it's like, if it's not great, it's just vaguely disappointing because you're like, oh, I
But you
got
know
it
what? If
wrong.
you go into
and
a
then all your
party-
family members are like, oh.
But no, if you go to a family deal, you just kind of like throw it on the table and move it away, and you're okay. But if you bring a really good one for friends in your home, oh yeah, it's perfect. All right.
I had no idea you had this investment, but we'll go with it. That's fine.
As a host, I do. All right. So
This is one of my favorite stories because it's the most weird, uncomfortable thing ever. Can I say it? Can I share it? Because it's really awesome.
yes.
This is a story
Yeah.
about a beloved pug
Yes.
named Bailey
Yeah.
who disappeared.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. Dun, 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 dun,
There was a
dun,
demand
dun,
for $150
dun,
of
dun,
exchange of information.
What?
A texted photo of the pug in a Superman suit. A coordinated police takedown.
Okay, stop. What's the Superman suit?
I'll explain. It was like something out of a movie, said Michael Green, who was Bailey's owner.
Yeah.
The pug had vanished when he was out shopping and kept the screen door open and a few inches for her cats to come and go.
Right.
The couple had posted pictures of Bailey across the community saying, "This is our dog, our beautiful dog, and he's missing. Please, could you help us?"
horrible would this be?
So a strange woman contacted the couple after seeing the poster and said, "I'll meet you at a nearby convenience store." She was very nervous, said the Youngs. Like she didn't want anyone to know she was there. The woman gave them an address to go to. When the couple were there, they were directed to a new address, and then from there,
What the?
another man took their number and said, "I will call you in 30 minutes." Eventually, a different man called and said, "I can't provide information about where Bailey is, but I want $150 for the address of
Okay,
where
can I-
Bailey is being held
All right,
captive."
can I just say something, and not being a situation where this would be actually happening, but there would be a crowbar involved in taking this guy down, and maybe a taser to the nachos. Continue.
Okay, well then, the guy said, "I want just one of you to meet me behind a dumpster.
Oh,
I don't want anyone to see, just you guys and the money."
classic.
So he then sent the Youngs a text message. He sent us a picture of our pug in a Superman outfit saying, "Is this your dog?"
What the hell's up with this
And I
Superman
said,
thing?
"Yes, it's definitely my dog." Now, the man did not know that the couple had been in contact with the police, because I feel like that almost every one of us at this point, especially when the phrase cash money and behind a dumpster come into play,
Right.
I would be pretty sure I'd call police.
Right.
Well, so they informed the officers that the man was demanding money, and so Young and her friend drove to the agreed upon location at Tim Hortons, but the man changed his mind at the last minute and then wanted to go behind a church to meet. So they said, "Sure,
Okay,
whatever."
another change.
Now, the friend was left in the car, and she walked to where she was told to wait with the cash. The man left his vehicle and began walking towards her, looking back and forth,
What the heck?
looking for other people.
Here I come with a crowbar.
Gave up the address right away. Well, the police went back to the final location where they retrieved the missing pug. I don't know if the pug was still wearing...
Wait a minute. He was walking to the dumpster, and the police jump in, and they grab him. And
Well-
then he gives up the location immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Well, the police had made their move. They came in, they converged.
Yeah,
It goes,
yeah,
"Crap,
yeah.
it's here.
Yeah,
So they came
yeah.
with the Youngs and picked up the dog, and they said,
Yeah.
"My pug is half deaf to begin with, and he's exhausted, so I was pretty sure he didn't even know it was us
A
at first."
special needs pug.
They said cases of stolen dogs are not that uncommon in Ontario. They'll come, they'll
Read
take
that-
the dogs.
Read that again?
Officials told them that cases of stolen dogs are not that uncommon in Ontario and that they would demand money for a location of an address.
Canada? What the heck?
So chased them across town into the seediest parts of the city. But here's the thing that was the most troubling. So when they got there and rescued the pug,
Good story. Good
apparently
ending.
the reason why the dog was so exhausted is because whoever had been holding the dog had changed him into several little dog outfits. He had also been, as well as Superman, he had also been dressed up as Thor along with a tiny little hammer. He had also been dressed up as Spider-Man. And there was one other one. They
Excuse-
weren't sure what it was,
excuse me.
but they think it might have been a warlock.
Okay. That is super creepy.
Why were you dressing my pug up in little
That is
outfits?
really creepy.
And that was why poor little Barney was so exhausted.
At least it wasn't, it puts the lotion on.
So on the bright side, both the man and the woman involved have been captured.
I would
But
like
I'm
to
still not even sure
continue.
what kind of what kind of charge are you going to do? I guess it's dog napping.
It is. It's personal.
It's personal theft.
yeah.
Is there a thing for the dressing the dog up though? It seems like there should be some sort of perversion
that's
of
a-
innocent creatures'
It's a
claws or.
humiliation.
I'm not even sure what you would call it. We should call Sim Gill, the county attorney. He could tell us. But surely there should be some charge related to dressing the dog up in little outfits against its will and taking pictures.
I know it would be for me if I was captured
I
and
don't want to be
kidnapped,
dressed up like a
and I was
warlock.
dressed up like superheroes and taking picture of, well, that would be a good side business, wouldn't it? Okay. From that story,
right.
I'm going to move to another story. And there was a gentleman, and he is in New York City. His name's Mark Johnson. Sounds like an innocent name. Mark Johnson has a house. He has a backyard.
Sure, seems like a nice guy.
Backs up to the woods. He's like a happy guy. He is living the American life. And one day he finds out that there's this turkey. Wild turkeys have been introduced across the country, and they have been doing incredibly well. Incredibly well.
I think we've seen a ton of them up in the, like some of the fields around here, right?
From Maine to California, they have been doing extremely well. And so this was like, I've got a turkey in my backyard. And so the neighbors reported him.
Well, maybe you're not supposed to have a turkey in your backyard.
It's not his turkey, it's a wild turkey.
Okay.
Turkeys
then
go out and forage and
well,
eat
then what's
nuts
wrong with that?
and berries. And they went, oh no, there's a turkey in your backyard. You are a criminal. And the guy kept saying, listen, Tim, his name, I am not a turkey owner. This animal comes to my property every 3 or 4 days and hangs out and makes some noise. And they said, no, it doesn't. So they called the cops, and he gets $100 ticket.
For a turkey wandering into his backyard?
And let me tell you a story.
That seems unreasonable to
I
me.
lived on a farm next in college, next to my college, and I lived on a farm, and we had
Rural
turkeys.
Maine.
And no, bat crap Maine. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. And so the chickens all kind of get to know you when you're walking out there, like, hey, what are you doing? You know, and the turkeys would come out and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And you could actually scratch the back of their heads, and they would
adorable.
love it. And these are not like domesticated. They're
Still wild creatures, but they're
sort of, but the farmer owns them. And they all got really friendly, and so every time I came home, they'd all gather around. And it's like, where's the scratch? And you'd scratch them and stuff, and you'd go inside. And it was not my fault.
you sound like you sound like William Shatner right now, right?
That they fell in love with me.
Do I want to know this story about you?
You've already heard most of it. It's the other part you're afraid of. So all I'm saying is the guy got a $100 fine for having a yard and a turkey that felt comfortable there. That's
that
all I'm
seems
saying.
unreasonable.
It really does. So he's been fighting it and fighting it and fighting it, and then finally someone said, you know what? Turkeys just love you and we can't do anything about it. That's the way love is. It really is.
As a legal judgment, I find that curiously lacking, but let's go with it.
All right. Why don't you tell them about PC laptops? Or may I?
If you wish, of
No,
course.
go ahead.
No, I would like you to do it.
All right, July 4th special going on right now. First of all,
$100 off select laptops and desktops. They're closed on the 4th, so you need to go and do this today. Also, you can do iPhone battery replacement, only $25. And they fix phones, by the way.
and did you know they have a desktop for $7.99 that is ripping fast and guaranteed parts and labor for life? Just going to say that.
Because there's always something that goes wrong. Always. It can be the best laptop or desktop in the world, but something will explode because that's what they do.
Suddenly a puff of smoke and your life ends.
And the blue screen of death.
I'm going to end today
Okay.
with a story you're going to love because it's about Star Trek.
That's why you were going into William Shatner on that last story, wasn't it?
That's what I was going to do. Yeah, they have a new liquor out, and it's called James T. Kirk Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
He's from Kansas. I could totally see that.
What does that mean? People in Kansas drink bourbon?
Well, don't they have distilleries in Kansas?
Well, they have distilleries everywhere. We actually have them here, except they actually have to export their stuff to another state and then bring them back in.
I think that's awesome. You totally know people are going to buy it just on principle.
JamesTKirkBourbon.com.
Now, how much does it cost?
Well, it was $70, let's say, each bottle. Pre-orders.
$70? This better be a really nice whiskey.
Pre-orders are $60.
Oh, well, $10 off the
See?
$60, $9 bottle of bourbon.
Once again, for all the nerds, because they'll never drink it.
Oh, no, you couldn't. You couldn't open the bottle. You would taint it.
JamesTKirkBourbon.com. Now, what they're saying is this is the first of different variations on this. And
we could finally taste Romulan ale. We have been waiting forever for that because that was always the start of all the big fights in the first Star Trek was the Romulan ale. This would be so awesome.
I've come up with a list. So, and I am not a Star Trek person. I would like you to acknowledge my knowledge here. Okay? Acknowledge my knowledge. Okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Tribble. Tequila.
It's kind of catchy.
Is Tribble right? Tribble is the furry creature, right?
Mm-hmm. Trouble with Tribble, sure, sure.
Romulan, right? Phrase, rum. Romulan.
Maybe that is what Romulan ale
rum.
really is.
Yeah.
That could be.
And Uranus vodka. There you go. That's pretty much wraps it up for me. We know how to pick out a great watermelon. We have enjoyed the incredible scenery of the deck, and we thank you very much.
If you'd like to take your friends out for dinner for four at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, which, by the way, was just recently voted the best steakhouse along the Wasatch Front, we would love to have you in it. If you don't mind sharing today's show with my imbecile husband, giggling like a 6-year-old.
Uranus vodka.
You're automatically entered. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. We just pick a recent share, and you're entered to win dinner for four at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. Please share the show. I apologize for my husband. And I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July.
All right.
Be sure to check out the list of all the fireworks along the Wasatch Front on our Facebook page.
Au revoir.